Your fitness fresh start is here. I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to get you started, getting ready for the new year. If you're catching this, if you're watching this and you have opportunity to grab pen and paper, you may want to grab pen and paper. I'm going to share with you a couple key things that you may want to write down because you might not want to forget it. If you are driving or working out or doing some kind of activity, I just listen, and I'm going to share with you the best I can these ideas and principles behind getting your fresh start now. I'm going to give you 5 simple steps. So the first thing I encourage you to do, getting your fresh start, is to have clear, specific goals. So we're going to do a little exercise with this all together. Here we go. If you could wave a realistic magic wand and you could have your body, your health, your energy, any kind of way you wanted it to be between now and this time next year, by the end of 2025, if you could have it any kind of way you wanted it to be, what would that look like for you? Think about that. Get clear and specific. Let's dial it down to the very, very, very specific. And this is how specific. So imagine for a moment that you're building a house or a building. And oftentimes, if it's a new kind of structure, they're going to have a blueprint. And every part of that structure, every part of the house, every part of the building is going to have everything specifically drawn out exactly how you want it to be. It's the same thing I encourage you with your health and fitness goals, is to get so clear. It's like your fitness blueprint that lays everything out exactly in detail is how you would like it to be if you could have it any kind of way you wanted it to be. Now, once you have this laid out, I encourage you to let's set up an affirmation / prayer. And here it goes. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and you fill in the blank. That's the idea. And I encourage you, if you're down for playing this little game with me, to use this affirmation / prayer, because I believe it'll help you if you decide to do it. Memorize it, internalize it, and then set your goal in a very clear, specific goal. I'll use myself as an example. Recently, I've been measured at about 180 pounds at 11% body fat. My goal is to be at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. Pardon me. I'm going to see if I can change the banner. Okay. So here's the affirmation. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then you fill in the blank, right? The goal is to be very clear and specific. So my goal, like I was just saying, my goal is to be at least 190 pounds and to at least be at or below 10% body fat. That is a very clear and specific goal. So how I say that is, I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. That's how I say that as I'm driving to my work, right? Now, I want you to consider using the same framework. And you plug in your goal. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then you state your goal, right? That's one way that will change your mindset. That's going to reframe your mindset to achieve what it is you exactly lay out for yourself. Now, have you ever heard of the law of attraction? This kind of falls in with that. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to take action, because that's what I want to talk about, the 5 simple steps. We must take action to achieve our fitness goals. We're not just going to achieve them by thinking about them or attracting them, but it does, I feel, start in the mind, because our mindset is what gets us to take the action that's necessary to achieve our fitness goals. It starts in the mindset. Here, for example, right? In the mindset, say, for example, tomorrow is Monday morning, and my goal is to do 30 minutes, either 30 minutes of steady state or 20 minutes of HIIT sometime in the morning. Now, a lot of times before I get started on that journey, on that adventure, I don't necessarily feel like doing it at that moment, but my mind says, hey, we're doing it. It's not even an option to bail. It's not an option. You're just gonna do it. You're just gonna follow through with it because the mind set it up. Now, if my mind was weak, like 80% of people that don't get themselves to do it, they're not that we're just weak. They're just not even thinking about it. Is like I say, well, I don't really feel like doing it now. I got several other things that I could be more useful for my time. That's the mindset working against you. And I'm here to get you to be your best fitness self, to get your fitness fresh start, right? And I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you to believe that your mindset dictates our actions and our fitness goals. Our mindset dictates what we get done, what we don't get done. So consider that, right? Consider that. Now, so every day, now imagine every day you're saying in the present tense, I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then you fill in the blank, right? That's your mindset. That's your goal. Now we know exactly where we're going, right? 5 simple steps: exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, mindset. With exercise, I feel they're basically 2 basic components of exercise: basic strength training and cardiovascular training. Imagine for a moment that we're flying on a twin-engine airplane, and we have strength training engine and cardiovascular engine. Now, if we only had one engine working on the airplane, how far would we get? Probably not very far, right? So on your exercise journey, I encourage you to have both some sort of strength training routine and some sort of cardiovascular routine combination. Now, inside of the strength training routine, consider these 5 basic principles: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. When it comes to proper form, why would that be so important? Think about it. 2 main reasons I want you to take in with this message is so that we exercise the muscle effectively. We're getting the most use out of our time and effort. Then also, 2, that we don't get an injury. And that is really huge. I don't want you to get hurt and get set back. Right? So proper form is very important. Number 2 is variety. Why couldn't we just do the same routine over and over again? Why would we want to switch it up from time to time? Think about it. Well, you probably get bored doing the same thing over again. I find that if I do the same routine over and over again, mentally, I can get bored of it. And then also, 2, our bodies adapt. So if our body's adapting and we're not really making progress and our mind's not really enjoying it, it's time to change that routine up. But what I like to do is I like to preemptively change the routines just depending on my flow, but to keep an ongoing changing of the routines. Variety, right? Number 3 is intensity. What comes to mind when you think about exercising with intensity? What comes to mind? Think about that. Well, say for example, say we're working triceps, right? Now say we're going for 12 repetitions, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we barely get number 12, but we got number 12. What's the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? Be the last few, right? And why is that? Because that's where the challenge is. That's where the the body has to actually work to overcome that resistance, right? That challenge, right? So the intensity is a very important part of a training program because we have to push it hard enough to get that result. Does that make sense? All right. Put a number 1 in the chat. That makes sense. And thank you for being here. So right now, we're currently talking about the 5 principles of training: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. So we've already talked about proper form, variety, intensity. Now let's take a look at proper training principles. There's a lot of different training principles out there. I love a lot of them. I use them on a daily basis. A lot of them what I call shocking principles, but we'll just kind of name a few, like compound sets, supersets, drop sets, rest pause training, circuit training. You may or may not have heard of some of these, and either way is okay. The point is that there are many different training principles that we can use, incorporate inside your routine, right? So to keep it going, that also helps to add in the variety, right? And then last but not least, we have consistency. So proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. What comes to mind when you think about the power of consistency in your fitness program? What comes to mind when you think about that? Take for a moment. Let's say for a moment that we have you, and say we have a twin of you, and say we have a friendly little fitness competition. Let's meet back here in 1 year and see who's achieved the best results, right, on their fitness journey. Now, you work out 3 days a week, a combination of strength and cardio. You eat not perfect, but 80% well, right? 80% or better. You get your rest, you supplement intelligently, and you have a good fitness mindset. Now, the other person starts off that way, but then misses a workout here and there, has a little more junk food here and there, skips healthy meal, doesn't always get the enough good stuff that helps us gain the strength. Now, at the end of the year, who's going to have the best progress? It's the person that's the most consistent is going to have the best progress. So I want to encourage you to, once you have your program going, to include the principle of consistency, that you're very consistent. You make a plan and you stick to your plan. You say, hey, I'm working out 3 days a week next week, 3 times of cardio, 3 times of strength. That's just the way it is. And you get it done. If you have to do it at home or if you go to a gym, whatever you got to do, you end up getting it done some kind of way. You figure it out, right? You improvise and you get it done, right? That's what I encourage you to do going forward. All right. Those are some training principles. Now, let's take a look at nutrition for a moment. Now, imagine for a moment that we want to build a 2-story house from scratch. Now, imagine if we only have half the materials necessary to build the house, how far are we going to get? Think about it. How far are we going to get if we only have half the materials necessary to build the house? How far are we going to get? About halfway, right? The foods that you and I eat on a daily basis are like the supplies that goes towards building our bodies. If I want to get to that 190 pounds, 5 more pounds, I got to eat healthy stuff and I got to work out. I got to stimulate my muscles. So my program is 5 days a week of strength and 5 days a week of cardio, because I'm really trying to take it up to the next level, right? So what is your plan? What is your goal? I encourage you to create your own plan. Learn how to build your own fitness plan, right? And I'm giving you the tools right now to get started with it, right? So now, also too, when it comes to nutrition, the types of food that we eat is very important, I feel. Now, imagine for a moment that we're trying to start a fire in a fireplace. And on one hand, we have a stack of oak wood, and on the other hand, we have a stack of paper. Now, not including, kindling and getting the fire started. If you had to choose between the oak wood or the paper to burn in your fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Well, most people I've talked to would select the oak wood. And why? Why do you think that's the case? It's denser. It's going to burn slower, longer, over a longer period of time, right? Think about like a piece of sugar, like a chocolate sugar. It's going to burn fast like a piece of paper. But like a fruit, like a strawberry or an apple or a bean or a lentil or a nut, it's going to burn slow over time. It's going to give us a slow burn. And when it comes to keeping a steady insulin and blood sugar and keeping burning body fat, I encourage you to keep a nice steady blood sugar, nice stable. And you can do that by selecting whole foods. Like I feel 50% of our diet should be fruits and vegetables, and the other 50% should be whole grains, legumes, and then plus legumes, proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds, plus protein powders, plus smoothies, which brings me to supplements. I feel there are basically two types of supplements: nutritional supplements and enhancement performance supplements. A nutritional supplement is more like a smoothie, a protein shake. I usually drink 2 a day since I was a teenager, and I love them. They taste great, and they help to get the extra nutrition in. And then there are also enhancement performance supplements. And that's, for example, will be creatine monohydrate, which has been around for some time now and is recognized as a strength enhancing supplement. And for those of you over 40 that are into hormone replacement or hormone therapy, that's where I put that category. Hormone therapy falls into enhancement supplements. So the idea, though, is that we're exercising, we're eating healthy, we're getting our rest, we're supplementing intelligently, and then last but not least is the mindset. And that's why I started this off with having you get clear and specific on your goal. And I'm going to finish that way because it's very, very important that you know exactly what it is you want to achieve with your health and fitness. So decide right now, what is it? And the more clearer you can be with your goal, the better. I encourage you to pick a body fat percent and a body weight. That's a very easy, clear, specific way to do it. If you're unclear of the different body fat measurements, you don't have to use some fancy tests. I found that if you go online and look up men and women's body fat percentages, you'll get scales of men from lean to overweight and women the same. And you can judge where you're at sort of on it and where you would like to be. You can get pretty clear just by looking at the picture and telling it and telling, gauging where you're at on it and where you would like to be. Get clear and specific on your goal, and then say it every day in the present tense. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and you fill in the blank, right? Does that make sense? That's your mindset. So the 5 simple steps for your fresh start right now. Number 1 is to have a good exercise program, balance of strength training and cardiovascular training. Number 2, nutrition. Whole food, plant-based diet, eating healthy foods. For more information to dig deeper on this, consider watching the documentary, The Game Changers. Number 3 is recovery, sleeping approximately 7.5 to 9 hours sleep a night. Number 4 is supplementing intelligently, nutritional supplements and enhancement performance supplements. And number 5 is mindset, daily saying our affirmations / prayers. I am happy and grateful now that I am, you fill in the blank. For me, it's I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat, feeling strong and healthy like a supple leopard, thick brown hair, 20/20 vision, perfect teeth, and supple skin. See how you can go on and you can create your own affirmations, right? And then also, too, I have 3 free offers for you to consider. 2 offers are on my website. You can go to fit.fitness, just like it sounds, fit.fitness. It'll take you to my main website, weightlosssolutionsthatwork.com. I have a 7-day free email series and a 21-day email series. The 7-day email series is text-based, so you read my tips, and the 21-day email series is a video letter series. Every day is a video, about 10 to 15 minutes with a lesson in it. And then if you're curious about my virtual fitness training, I have a high value, low time needed, low cost offer for virtual fitness training. To find out about it, message me the word consult, CONSULT, to 520-400-9573. That number is on the description somewhere to connect with me about that. I appreciate it. Be blessed, and remember that health is wealth. And my goal is to come at you here every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your questions, call in, ask a question live, write it in the chat, or just sit and learn. Listen to it. I'm going to be very clear and specific. Not going to blab a lot. Just going to give you the good stuff on what it takes to have your best fitness life ever. All right. I'll be back. Bye for now.